Hey folks, welcome back. So I got this the other day. It's a 82 volt Victor lawnmower, and the guy sold it almost brand new condition with this one battery that comes with it, as it would do in the shop. So I'll use both Australian and American currency. So that is $700 brand new a few months ago, and the battery he thought had died. He tried to replace it and went to look on the internet, and it's about $250–300 for the small one, 2 amp hour, and decided to just get rid of the mower. He thought it would be not very well made if the battery could just break after a couple of months, but little did he know that took me about 10 or 15 seconds to fix that battery. It wasn't broken at all, and I thought, I can't believe I haven't made a video on this. So I'm going to show you how to revive a sleeping battery which looks like a dead battery. So I don't blame him for thinking it was dead, because there's very little excuse as to, for manufacturers to make a battery go to sleep, I think. So so that was, yeah, $700 Australian, and that's about, I think it's 500 and something, 520 American dollars for that. And a new battery, which is there, is about about $200. It's expensive, but luckily I thought I've already got a 4 amp hour battery. This is the standard 2. If I can't make this work, then at least I've got some battery cells in there, and I'll just give it a go, try and fix it, and we'll have a little bit of fun together and try and fix that. And at least I've got a 4 amp hour battery, which is good for it. So beautiful mower. I paid about $100 for it, which is about 54 American dollars. And so I'll show you what I did to fix the battery. This works on most batteries, drill batteries, things like that, and I'll explain it in detail and go into it. I'll not make this video longer than it has to be, to give you the best chance of figuring out if your battery's dead or sleeping. So I'm just walking up to the veranda up there where I planned on just doing a bit of filming and talking about it, and this little thing jumped on my hand. Can you see that? How cool is that? So anybody who's followed the channel for a while knows that I like to play around with anything with an engine or a motor. So that's a 4-stroke mower. That's kind of overkill for a simple lawn like that. And so is this one. This is a Japanese 2-stroke. So that's kind of why I wanted to get a quiet, smooth electric one. So especially if a good one comes up that's almost new for 100 Australian dollars, that's pretty awesome. So here's what happened. The guy had, I'll just move this battery. The guy had his mower. This is the battery, and this is the charger. And the charger only works when the battery's in an operating temperature, operating voltage, which is just like any other battery. So drill batteries and mower batteries. And so when this battery is at something like 70 to 82 volts, or around that window, then the charger can pick it up, and it knows there's a battery on there, and that the battery is going to work, and that it can charge the battery. So when this guy has plugged his battery in up until it stopped working, he's just plugged it in, used it, plugged it in, used it, plugged it in, used it. But he said the time it stopped working, he hadn't used it for 5 weeks. So I suspect what he's done is used it, depleted the battery so that it was dead, and he's left it for 5 weeks dead. And so that's a very common thing. A lot of people do that. So when he's gone to plug his battery in like this, what it does is it goes green, and then if it's fine, and the battery, if it thinks the battery's fine, it will carry on going green, charge. But it would start green, think the battery's broken because the battery had gone into sleep mode because he'd left it dead for 5 weeks, and it goes red, turns off, and he's thought his battery was broken. Very common thing, and not very well noted on the internet, but it's just the battery had gone to sleep. That's all it had done. And so what you can do in that situation, but I was lucky because I had a second battery. If you didn't, is you can have So what happens is the battery, when you plug in the negative and positive into a multimeter, normally it would say like 70 or 82 or somewhere in there, but it actually said 11, and what that means is the power that comes from the battery goes to the BMS, the battery management system, and it kind of just closes it down, and so you can only see a few volts, which is 11 volts. But so it looks as though the battery is broken. It won't work when you plug it into the charge, and it won't work when you plug it into one of the devices. But what you can do is, all you need to do is make sure that your other battery is charged or has at least like half a charge in it, and you get a simple cable just like that, positive, negative, and you connect them. So the corresponding ones, obviously negative first, always, and give it a minute. That's all you've got to give it, a minute. But you'll notice in the first half a second or so, the voltage will go from its sleeping state, which on this was 11 volts, and it will jump to 68, 70, something like that. Basically, the battery just wakes up. It literally just comes to sleep, and you can see the true voltage that's actually in the batteries. And just give it a minute, let it just take a bit of power from this other battery, and it's fixed. That's it. That's all you've got to do. Plug that into the charger, leave it to fully charge, and then when it's fully charged, just leave it a couple of hours so that you can be sure that the battery management system and the charger have worked properly, boosted the voltage, and then balanced the cells, because that's kind of what you want to do. So that's what I did. I've given it a good test. It worked perfectly fine, has its full capacity. Fortunately, none of the cells did break. Sometimes you will notice on a battery that when you have the voltage and the voltage has just dropped. So if you have, say, a 36 volt battery and the voltage is coming out at 21 volts, it's possible. It might be a sleeping battery, but there's also a good chance that it's not just in sleep mode, but it's also that you've got a broken cell somewhere, or the BMS is broken. So it's not always that it's going to be in sleep mode, but everyone should always try this first. It's very, very important. That's it for this video. If you are interested in following and learning a bit more about electric things, or you know, just pottering around with engines and stuff like that, and building electric scooters and repairing things, subscribe and like the video if you want to. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.